The wizard said that if I said the magic word, I'd become the greatest superhero in the world. Shazam! I don't even know what this means. Hi, I'm Jason Inman. I love to read comic books. That's why on the week of July 31st, I read all the DC New 52 comic books that were published in the world. I'm going to give each of these a buy it, borrow it, or skip it rating. But before I get into that, don't forget to go to majorspoilers.com, the comic book website where they know that you love comic books, and we do too. And don't forget to go to check out my Kickstarter, Squatch Watchers. It's a brand new comedic web series, and any help that you can give us is appreciated. But enough of this jibba jabba, let's get on to some reviews. Animal Man Annual number 2. Just when you forget that this is a horror book, a giant spider lady shows up. Basically, this is a flashback adventure. Animal Man Buddy Baker and his son have a classic adventure in the past because, as you don't know right now, spoilers, he's dead. He just died. He's dead. He's kaput. He's gone. He's in the ground. So Buddy is all sad and he's imagining better times with him and his son, and they fought this giant spider lady. I don't know why that's a better time, but spider lady can create dreams, and Buddy, during the story, seeks out the spider lady to get a dream of his son and to have a happy day. Jeff Lemire pulls a creepy horror story on us, and at the very end gives us a moment of ah. Audience just goes ah, and you're just like oh, but then you forget that it's about a giant spider lady, so you're like oh, but you're still ah. Buy this book. It's one of DC's best. Batman Annual number 2. This book should have just been called Arkham Asylum, A Look on the Inside. This book is basically a documentary. It's an orderly's first night at Arkham Asylum. Batman's also there in this first night to prepare to break out. He's going to try to break out to show the lax security systems and find its follies and its faults. And also, we learn the story of Arkham Asylum's first patient. This issue gets a little talky, a lot talky in some pages, but there's still enough there to keep you there. The orderly has a good character to keep you there. The art's kind of interesting, and Batman is one smart mofo, let me tell you that. There's enough here to keep you going, but could this have been a shortened issue? Yes, it could. I would say borrow this. Batman Inc. number 13, the grand finale to Grant Morrison, aka Super God, Batman's run. 7 years, and it all comes down to this: a face-off between Talia and Batman to the death, a heart-to-heart between Commissioner Gordon and Bruce Wayne, and not only that, it is quite possibly the ugliest, the fuggliest, the most horrifying Bruce Wayne has ever looked. He has more injuries on his face than, I don't know, a guy with a lot of injuries on his face. I don't have an analogy there, just go with it. There's one thing that needs to be said about this book. Round of applause for Grant Morrison, because 7 years of awesome. He took this character and he built him up, and he took him into zany places and creative places, and this finale delivers exactly like all 7 years of his Batman run. It is classic. This is possibly one of the greatest Batman runs of all time. Eat that, Scott Snyder. That is all you need to say. Buy this book and then go buy every Batman book that Grant Morrison has written. That's all it needs to say. Buy this book. Detective Comics Annual number 2. If you just want to read a simple Batman story where he's going after a copycat, you know, there's a lot of copycat in Batman books these days. Like just last week, Batman the Dark Knight, it was about a copycat. This week is about a copycat. Scott Steiner a couple months ago and Batman had a copycat. What is with the copycats, Batman? You don't need to be fighting no copycats. Get out there and bust Joker up in the face, yo. Basically, just a copycat, except this time the copycat impersonates Harvey Bullock. And that's about it. It's a simple, fun Batman story. There's nothing remarkable about it. There's nothing that really sucks about it. It's just a middle-of-the-road Batman story. Just borrow it from a friend. The Flash Annual number 2. It's like Perfect Strangers, except without Balky and his friend, we have Green Lantern and Flash. And you just want to say, standing tall on the wings of our dreams. And Flash and Green Lantern, one guy is an ass and one guy wears a ring. Oh, you thought I was going to switch that, right? You know, yeah, anyways, this book is pretty good. I was very surprised about that. This is a New 52 origin. Like, this is one of the things that the New 52 is missing. The origins of how these characters first met. How did they become friends? How did they learn that one of them likes tea and one of them likes Downton Abbey? How do we know that? This book tells us why. Basically, Barry meets up Hal Green Lantern in full costume, and then Barry idiotically puts on his Flash costume, and Hal immediately recognizes him. He's like, you don't even change your voice. What's up there? And you find out that from this past adventure, Green Lantern made a deal with a bunch of aliens, and it has, of course, tripped him up in the future. They have to go fight some aliens because of this old deal of Hal. Oh, classic Hal. And because of this, Barry has to wear a Green Lantern ring. A lot of great character moments, some pretty decent art. This is a buy. Go check it out. Red Lanterns number 22. Take a book of a bunch of great supporting characters, put them in a book like this, and make them all watered down suburban versions of themselves. That's what this book is. All the scary monsters of the Red Lanterns, well, they all stand around and they debate Green Lantern, and then, Guy Gardner, but he is a Green Lantern, or he used to be, but now he's a Red Lantern. So he shows up on the Red Lantern planet, beats Atrocitus, and he's all mad, crazy with the Red Rage. And the Red Lanterns sit around there and have a debate about whether they should put Guy Gardner in the magic blood pool to cure him of his ills. What is going on here? And then Guy Gardner comes out of the mad red pool, and he's normal. And it's just like another day at the office. Like, hey, Red Lanterns, I'm Guy Gardner. Hey, what's going on? How's it going? How's it going? I know that they're trying to make these characters intelligent, that they can't make them all like blood rage zombies, but that's what made these characters so cool. That's what made these characters such great supporting characters, is because they would show up in a Green Lantern book and they'd be like, and you try to talk to them and they would just be like, and that's all they would do. And it worked. It worked. It made them great villains. Watering them down does not work. Skip this book. Superboy number 22. So Superboy goes to a high school where all the kids are demons. But wait a minute. I thought all high schools were like musicals. See what I mean? Not demons, musicals. So I'm pretty much gonna give this a skip it. Superman Annual number 2. Yeah! Dan Jurgens, the classic Superman artist, is back! Jurgens! This is so good. This book is so great. It is so great to see a book in the 75th anniversary of Superman to celebrate Lois Lane. Lois Lane is the lead of this book, and it's great that in the 75th anniversary, because you know what, kids? It's her 75th anniversary too, and she definitely deserves to be celebrated as much as Superman. She is one of comic books' best characters, one of the strongest, if not the strongest female character in all of comic books. Basically, Lois is hunting down a mystery, and Superman shows up every once in a while, and then, you know, I don't want to tell you much. I want you to just open this book, read it, and enjoy the greatness that is Lois Lane. She is one of the strongest characters in the DC. You know what? I would be okay if they had Lois Lane, Daily Planet reporter, and we just went with it. We had this title. This could be a perfect zero issue for that title. Buy this book. Trinity of Sin, Pandora number 2. A Trinity War tie-in. What? I gotta still do reviews? Okay. Basically, this book, which I thought was really good in the first issue, has just completely imploded on itself. Vandal Savage shows up with his Lame Brigade, and he's dressed like a weird, bad Tiger 70s pimp, and he just fights Pandora for Pandora's box, which is the Golden Skull. And then Pandora's like, wait a minute, if the purest of hearts, Superman, couldn't open it, maybe Vandal Savage, the evilest of hearts, can open it. So she gives it to Vandal Savage, it just explodes, he falls down, and then she's just like, oh darn, that didn't work. And then we have several other scenes of government agents be like, we must get Pandora. Let me posture like government agents do. Yes, let us get Pandora. That's it. This book could have been really cool. Could have tied the entire DC universe from the beginning of time to now. We could have constantly seen flashbacks. We could have had a Highlander feel with this thing, except with Pandora, who's a lady. And so it's Lady Highlander. I would be totally cool with that. Lady Highlander with golden guns. Yeah, let's do it. But we can't have that. We gotta have stupid fights with people in stupid 70s pimp coats and just let the book implode. So skip it. And that's all the DC New 52 comic books that were published on July 31st. Don't forget to go to majorspoilers.com, the comic book website where they know that you love comic books, and we do too. They got some amazing podcasts. They did amazing San Diego Comic-Con coverage. They had so many articles every second of the day. Go check them out, majorspoilers.com. And also, go check out my Kickstarter, Squatch Watchers, a comedic web series with Superman writer Scott Lobdell, who wrote an issue that I featured here. Internet meme and famous taxidermist Chuck Testa, and a lot of other guest stars. Please, a dollar, sharing it on your Facebook wall and your Twitter wall, anything can help. I greatly appreciate all of you. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to leave in the comments what you want me to review next week. Do you want me to review Marvel? Do you want me to review Marvel? Do you want me to review Marvel? I think maybe you should let me review Marvel. I don't know. Or DC. You can just have me keep reviewing DC. Either or, let's go. I review what you choose. Some of you asking why I keep reviewing DC, well, you know what? It's because you keep saying DC, you DC animals, your man animals, or your DC animal mans, or whatever you want to say, or whatever you kids are calling each other. That's all for this video. I don't know why I'm talking in this voice. I'm Jason Inman. I'll be seeing you, kids. Crazy kids.
Me remember my first time with rock music. Me dance in woods all night.